Hey y'all, what's going on? And welcome to the Gooped and Gag podcast with Vanessa and Pilar. Hey. So guess what? We haven't been around for like 3 weeks, and that's because we're moms, yo. We got lots of kids. Vanessa has 5 kids. Pilar, I got 3 kids, and maybe we're not moms first, but we are people first. And our kids are definitely a very important part of our lives. So we're not going to apologize. And neither should you. Neither should you. I'm not going to re record that. And it's perfect timing, too, because this podcast episode is all about the stuff they are not telling you about in books, and you have to explicitly ask about or just stumble upon by the grace of someone's good heart because they will tell you. And today, that's going to be us. We're going to give you all the unfiltered good stuff, all the good stuff, from pre-labor to labor, delivery room, stuff that people don't even realize or think about until they've been in there for the upteenth time. So we're gonna share what we know and what we've got for you, and hopefully that will be, you'll find some gems in there. All right. So don't forget to follow us. Don't forget to like this episode, rate the episode, rate us, whatever options you got. If you can support us, that'd be great, because we love you and we love doing this, and we love hanging out. So there you go. All right, enjoy.
Goop and Cat.
Yeah, now it's like, yeah, you have like what was that? The dog?
You heard that? Speaking
Yeah.
of cocaine bear.
It's so hard, baby, to play nice, baby, to be so cool. It's so hard.
Thank God for that cheap entertainment, because I'm telling you, mom life is just.
And then you end up
I
watching shit late at night till like 3 o'clock in the morning, wondering where the time went. Even though you know you should be in bed, but this is your time alone.
right.
Like, I need to be in bed. Like, if I could be in bed at like 9:30 or 10 o'clock every night, I would be golden. But
Yeah.
no, I'm
Yeah.
the dumbass. And here I am. I have to watch these Netflix shows. Or you're like doom scrolling. Like, how come there are no dinosaur ghosts? Like weird shit like that.
Oh
And
my God, you're right. Why are there no dinosaurs?
good question, right? Like, why are there no
Or
dinosaur
like
ghosts?
just like Neanderthal ghosts.
Right. And
You
then
know what
you
I mean?
start going down this wormhole and you
Like
don't know why you're where you are. And it's
like
2:30
shower
in the morning.
thoughts. Yeah.
And then it's
Oh
2:30 in the morning, and your alarm's gonna go off in like 4 hours. And then
my God. When I tell you, like, I'm not even wearing a bra right now. And I'm very happy. Because I'm
hey,
happy because finally, talking about mom shit, finally, okay, I'm not leaking. So
oh,
I can
okay.
go braless, first of
Nice.
all.
Can you
You
sleep on your
know,
stomach?
was it?
Can you sleep on your stomach yet?
I have, of course, I slept on my stomach. Are you kidding me? Almost like it's so nice.
Ah.
But my back is all fucked up. So even when I sleep on my stomach, my lower back, because I'm
Yeah.
not used to being like regularly. Oh,
Crackhead.
go ahead.
See? Crackhead.
That's funny.
But yeah. Your lower
Yeah.
spine is punished, but your
Yeah.
breast cannot stop. I mean, you just
Yeah.
fall asleep. Well, I do so much faster on your stomach.
Oh,
I
yeah.
I would breastfeed, like, try to get or in pump to get out as much as I could, just
Mhm.
to lie on my stomach before I felt like me
Oh my
filling back
God.
up
Oh,
again.
yes,
It's just
the
like,
pain.
or
Oh,
after you have a baby, when you get to lie on your stomach, for a second,
for a
it's
second, yeah, at least, at
like,
least. There's just, you're just, you feel so skinny.
yeah, I can lie on my stomach without fucking like
Yeah.
a mass of like
Yeah.
a concrete brick. Weird. I mean, when you're pregnant, you can lie on your stomach.
And
If
I,
your
I did
baby,
with Iskra, I actually would like like I'd be like side,
like on
I'd
your
be like,
side
yeah, like,
some,
but I'd be like, like my knee, my knee
yeah, it's
on
like
the
bent up.
outside, I would bend it over,
Uh-huh.
to touch the mattress,
You're like,
but I wouldn't
oh,
be all the way on my stomach, but it'd be so nice, like get a little relief to be just kind of like,
and you see him walking behind me.
it's
He's
like
like on the
tightrope
couch.
walking on the,
Where did
the
he go?
couch.
He went somewhere. Oh, he's not on the edge of the couch. He's over here. I have me move the opposite way.
There he is. Wow. That's a fabulous little papa.
Here.
Oh,
All right.
he's so peppy and cute. Oh, you look so handsome. You look so handsome. He looks like I could see him as a character in like Studio, what is it, 78 or whatever it was.
Yeah. Now he's running. I don't know. He probably snorted some of that coke, that cocaine that he had. But it's like when you're pregnant, I mean, you could in theory lie your stomach completely.
Mhm.
No matter how many months you are. I just don't recommend it because it
Yeah.
will hurt.
It'll hurt.
It'll hurt. The
Yeah.
baby
Yeah.
will be fine because
Maybe
they're
it'll be
like,
fine.
"Ooh."
Yeah. Yeah.
Just push back a little bit. It's fine. It's dark.
Yeah. They're in like a
They're fine.
perfectly sealed off.
They're good. Like,
Yeah.
but it's gonna
Mm.
feel like you're being like hit
Right.
with shovels and stabbed
Mm-hmm.
and like
Mm-hmm.
all your muscles,
Yeah.
supporting.
What
Oh,
I didn't know, and this is crazy, I didn't find this out until my third pregnancy, but you're not supposed to lay on your back.
no, you're not because of
The nerve
the nerve. Yep, and
that's
blood
on your
flow and all
back.
that stuff.
Yeah. I did
Mhm.
not know that. I
And
didn't
also, if you know the side that your placenta is on,
know.
so let's say your placenta is on the left side, you should lie on your right, or vice versa.
Oh, interesting. There's so
Because
much shit that I didn't find out or know about until the
it won't
third
kill you.
baby. I'm
It
like,
won't
are
kill
you
the
kidding?
baby, but it's just like the optimal blood flow, so you're not like on the placenta, so to speak. I
Right.
mean, the baby will be fine though.
Yeah.
Like if you
Yeah.
feel comfortable sleeping on your left side, and the placenta's on the left side,
Yeah.
too bad, so sad.
Yeah.
My big ass was gonna get comfortable no
Right.
matter what it took.
Right.
And once my fat ass was in bed, at a certain point, I looked like one of those people from 600 Pound Life. You're propped up with the pillow. You're like on an incline.
Oh,
You have your
girl.
food on your stomach.
All the
You're
pillows.
like, this is it, and then don't have to pee. It's like,
Oh
then
my
it's like,
God.
oh jeez. It's
I
like I
just
just
got
got into
comfy.
this position, and then sometimes you're like, just give me a bedpan at this
Girl,
point because
when
you're
I
like,
tell you, oh, speaking of which, I have a diaper on right now. I have like those always because I finally just got my period, as I told you. Finally got my period. And I am not fucking with no pads right now.
they have
I
like
just
the
got the
reusable pad,
always.
the sanitary underwear, like for
Yeah.
pads now,
Yeah.
and it's like I don't got.
Oh my goodness. It's so great. Because I got
You
the
just sit
diapers
there.
for after I had the baby, but I
Mm-hmm.
barely used them. And
Oh,
now
like the
I'm like,
white, like the little. Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
it's like a
That's a
full
good
on
idea.
it's like a depends,
Depends, right?
but it's always brand, and
Ah,
it's you can use them for periods, you can use them for
incontinence,
incontinence.
whatever.
Yeah,
Just absorb it. Whatever
yeah,
fluid is coming out
totally.
down there.
And now I'm like, I don't even fuck with pads at nighttime. I'm just like, give me a diaper.
That's like tampons, for example. I'm like a tampon person. I do not
Yeah,
like pads. They're just like
right.
really uncomfortable.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
after I had my children, like 1,000 times,
A
it
thousand
was
times.
like
When you hit a
pads,
thousand.
1,000, because the pads twist and then you're
Yeah.
irritated because the pad from the hospital, because those are the real like long ones with the
Yeah.
smooth
It's a
tops you want
boat.
to use. It's a boat. So I would use like two, like one in the front, like one in the
Right.
back, and like some like a huge pad. Like
Yeah.
the pad goes from here to the back to the nape of my neck. I'm just fucking like sitting in a huge pad with those mesh panties that they give you, looking real sexy, stomach turning black. Your stomach is darker after you
Oh,
have the baby,
oh, yep.
just
I still
bleeding
have the
out.
line. I still have the dark
Yeah,
line.
the line doesn't go away for a long time, and then your
Mm-mm.
skin gets darker. You're like, wait, my
Mhm.
skin did not. What happened to my stomach?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you
What's
just
going on?
a
What's
hot ass
happening?
mess. So I'm just
What's
bleeding
happening?
out, and it's like, then you get irritated because the pad twist, and
Oh,
it's like you're getting scissored, okay, by a pad. It's like rubbing against your cooch. And you're just trying to heal. And God forbid you had to have an episiotomy because you got ripped from the rooter to the tutor.
oof. Yep.
Oh,
Mm.
listen, I remember, who was it? It was with Sarai. I was like, oh, I'm tired of wearing the hospital pads. She's my first. I'm tired of wearing the hospital
Right.
pads. I'm gonna do the dry weave tops. Wrong. I had a second-degree laceration with her, which means I
Oh my
tore
God.
just the butthole.
Ow. Wow.
It was like in Speed at the end where the bus was like teetering at the edge. That's how it was to my butthole where the stitches went. It was like right there, like almost tore me through. So I had a second-degree laceration.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
I had the stitches, and then I put this dry weave pad on, baby. It must have been a rubbing. I'm pretty sure if I looked down, it would have been like a smoke signal, like smoke coming out from the friction. I never ran and got the ice pack that they give you at the hospital so fast and shoved it in there.
Oh, yes.
I was like,
Yes, yes, yes.
oh.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
was
yeah.
like I took a block of ice and just shoved it in there and just sat
Mm.
on it. I was apologizing to my vagina. I'm like, I am so sorry.
You're like,
Like,
I love you. I'm
I love you.
sorry.
Like, you've been through
Please
enough, and I'm
forgive
happy
me.
that you're still here with me. At the ordeal you just went through.
Oh my God.
Because
Yes.
oh my God, it was. I'm like, there's probably smoke coming out from the friction. I could have started a fire.
You know what I discovered that
Never
they
again.
sell now? They call them popsicle pads, which is basically
Yes,
what they
and they
give
have them
you
at the hospital,
at the give
and
at
I
the
took
hospital.
all those home every
But
time.
now,
And
yes.
now I make sure I would, use them. They're very helpful. It's
Oh
like
my
a
God, they're
popsicle on your
great.
twat.
On your coochie. Yes.
A
Yeah. It's a cold
coochie sickle.
coochie pad.
A coochie sickle. That's what it feels
Coochie
like. It's like,
sickle.
oh. It's like you can go to the store, get that block of ice, and just
God,
let your
like just
snatch on it.
straddle
It's like,
that.
just straddle like,
Mm.
like a guttural growl. Like people
Mm.
have no idea what happens to the woman, the female body, like after you give birth. Then they don't warn you about these things. They just tell
Yeah.
you like, oh,
There's so much. I'm still shocked.
you
I'm
learn
still
so much. Like
shocked.
with subsequent pregnancies, and I feel like your first pregnancy will probably be like your happiest because you don't know of all the shit that can
Right,
go
right,
wrong,
right,
like
right,
during
right,
labor
right,
or during
right,
pregnancy
right.
period. It's
I
like
mean,
pregnancy
well,
is
there is
great.
like ignorance is bliss, yes, but then there's
It
like you
is,
can
it's
also
really
get
bliss.
over paranoid of like,
Yes,
mm,
because you start reading shit, you're like, what the hell is this?
you're
You're
like,
like,
what is? Mm,
I could die.
I could
What the
die.
hell is this
What?
happening? You're like, oh no. You're like, oh my God. It's like,
Yeah, which is
oh,
no
scary.
wonder why a lot of people they just go straight to they get the drugs, they get everything they need. There's also like the plan to get the cesareans and stuff like that.
Like I get
Um,
it. My first three, I
yeah,
didn't have an epidural or
right.
anything. I just
Same.
took like some Tylenol and like I'm gonna bang this shit out. It was Drew, my third. I didn't take anything because he came quick. Wait, did I
You have
take anything
time.
when I went to the hospital? No. You know what? He was my third one. I'm like, I'm fat, I'm tired. I earned this epidural. And looking back, it's like it's not a badge of honor. If you want to do natural, no medicine, kudos to you. I did
Yeah.
it. My
Yeah.
first three, but it was supposed to be my first two was with Drew, the third one. I planned on getting an epidural. Like I'm too tired. I don't have
Right.
the energy for this. You need to have the energy for labor.
Yes,
Like,
you need.
and you have to mentally prepare and know, like, this shit is about to get real.
Mhm.
It's the first one was 40 and a half hours of just pure, I felt everything. Like I
Shut
almost gave
up.
birth in the car. I had enough labor for the first one
Everyone else
for
after that.
all the other ones. Like my one labor combined for my first was more than my other four combined,
Girl.
hands down. So I'm like, you know what? I earned this epidural. So I'm like, yeah, this is gonna be great. Get to the hospital, lying down. I'm talking just like this. Like, oh, you're
Mhm.
4 centimeters. This is great. Can you
Perfect.
on the corner to the delivery? I'm like, yeah, I can walk.
Yeah.
Walking, waddling.
Yeah.
And you get my things. Waddling, right? I get to that delivery room. I start doing, you get the
Oh
shakes.
yeah, 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 yeah,
You
yeah.
get really hot. And I'm like, oh
Oh
no,
yeah. Yeah.
no. And
Yeah.
then my water broke in the
Oh,
hospital. And then I saw meconium with him, which means he took a shit in there.
oh right.
Brown. I said, oh no, because I
Yeah,
knew
yeah,
what that
yeah.
meant. I'm like, oh my God, he's in distress. But it's okay because guess what? I was 10 centimeters at that point because I got up to the gravity. Girl, they checked me at 9:30. I walked around to the room. It had to be maybe like 10:10 or something. He was born at 10:16. Meanwhile, the anesthesiologist is in the room. I'm like, oh, they're like, oh, you're already 4 centimeters. You can get it set
Oh,
up. So walk around to the delivery room. We'll have him come
oh,
in as soon as you get there and you can be good to go. I'm in there. He's in there too. He comes in the room while I'm on the bed screaming for the nurse. Nurse, you have to come check me because I know my cervix is going. Check, no, it's not. You were just 4 centimeters. I say, get down here. Open my legs. Open these tree trunks up, baby. She said, oh shit. She literally said, oh shit, your cervix is gone. I said, it is. She literally said, oh shit, because she didn't expect that. I was just 4 centimeters
right,
a
right.
second ago, and I
Yes.
was 10.
Yes.
ready to go. I
Ready
was
to go.
ready. And the
Mhm.
fucking anesthesiologist is still there with his book, asking me questions. Why they holding up these big ass thighs? Sir, it's over. There's no epidural to be had. It's here
This
and
is
now.
happening.
And he was still there the whole time I pushed, and it wasn't much. I'm telling you, they got my fat ass in that bed, got my legs up. The
Yeah.
doctor ran in there, and the only reason my doctor was able to deliver me, because the way my practice works is that they have the OBs already there, so they take shifts. So there was like 3 or 4 in the practice, and then one
That's
was already
great.
working that night. So
Awesome.
and it was the doctor I wanted anyway.
Oh, that's
And she was
great.
there. She's in front of me, like hands in there, like
Boom.
getting this turkey out the oven. And he's still there asking me, so what are you allergic to? I shit you not. I'm like,
Shut
stupid questions.
Oh my
That's what I'm
God.
allergic to. With this, I was like, sir, this is fucking stupid. I'm like, doctor, you need to just go. It's coming. Like, there's no way I'm going to arch my back, get in position, have medicine work. And I shit you not. My mother called Andrew to see how I was doing at like 10:14. I'm looking at the clock. And I call her back at 10:17. And she's like, how's everything? I'm like, oh, he's here. Like, he went that quick. So I didn't have a chance to get epidural with him. So my first 3 was all
Wow.
natural. Sophia, she was a shorter labor. My water broke with her at 12:15, but she was born at 4:52.
Wow.
Yes. And Sophia fucked me over because, when labor's about to begin, your body's prepping for this harmonious, natural, beautiful time.
Bullshit.
You won't have an appetite. Bullshit. I ate like it was my fucking last meal, and I was on death row at like 10:30 at night. I shit you not, no pun intended. My water broke at 12:15. I felt it. She's the only one where labor started with my water breaking. Everyone else happened
Right.
like during.
Right.
So
Right.
I felt the rush. And they
Yeah.
always say, oh, is it like you're peeing on yourself? It's not.
What
Because
is it like?
it kind of feels like you're peeing on yourself. Like you feel the rush. It feels like a rush is coming and you can't control it. And I
Right.
was like, oh no, I just washed these sheets. So I got my fat ass up, and my bedroom had carpet. So like I ran over to the floor, the
Yeah.
tile, and it splashed. And I was like, okay, that's water, because it doesn't smell like pee. It
It doesn't
smells
smell like
like
pee.
more like earthy. Like I can't
Yeah.
explain
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I don't like coochie juice. I mean, at
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
rate,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Clean
that's what it
coochie
smells
juice.
like. It's
Yeah.
like clean vagina. Like,
Hmm.
oh, like, okay, all natural. You're like, oh, womanly. You know what I'm saying? But you can't stop it from flowing.
Right.
Like, urine, you can stop it. Like, oh, unless
Yeah.
you're
You can
with this,
clench
unless you just shot the shit.
because yeah. 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 Yeah.
You know what
It's
I
a
mean? Like,
different
you can,
hole. It's a different hole.
whole different ball game down there. And when your water breaks, you can't stop the flow. So I'm
Right.
like, okay, my water broke. And I was like, oh, my stomach feels funny. I'm like, okay. But I knew with Sarai, Sophia's my second. I knew I did not want to push or anything until I got to the hospital, because I almost had Sarai in the car.
Right.
I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna hold tight. Andrew had to come over. He was working nights. So we went to the hospital. We got to the
Thank
hospital
God he
probably
got there in
around
time.
like 1:30. So I'm like, okay, I gotta push. Like I said, remember, I had that meal, that really big meal. And when you're going through labor, your body needs to
Your body
cleanse
does
itself
not
to make
discriminate.
sure, yes, your body needs to cleanse itself to make sure you're empty.
Yeah.
Oh, I got empty. All right. And I didn't even want to be in the room with me. I said, what is this? I don't know if I was dying or something was dead in my ass.
Oh
That
my
was like
God,
the
that's
worst smell. Like it
hilarious.
comes out of both holes. It's coming out. Like your body just knows. And I'm like, why would she set me up like this? She knew she was coming. And
So
I had a
funny.
test that day because I had her on a Saturday, and it was my last final. It was a math final. She couldn't wait.
Oh, damn.
She couldn't just wait. No, she couldn't. I could not take my final that day because she wanted to come overnight, early that morning.
What were you studying?
I was getting my bachelor's. It was healthcare administration. That's what
Oh
my
my
major.
goodness. Oh my God.
Yes, so I worked 40 hours in person. I was a receptionist somewhere, and then I would go to school after work, taking the train from Manhattan all the way out to
And
Queens.
that was with Sophia, so your fourth.
My second.
With your second, just kidding.
Yes. And Sarai, how old was Sarai? Sarai was like 4.5 at the
Oh my
time. Yeah, she was
goodness.
born in 2009, and Sophie was born in
That's
2014. I was so
crazy.
pissed at her. I'm like, you couldn't do this. Like, I just needed to get through these finals. And my teacher was like, it's okay. My professor was like, if you don't come to class, I
I'm
know that
assuming.
you had a baby. because they were so afraid of me in class. Like, are you okay?
Yeah.
Are you fine? Because I was due May 16th and I had her May 10th. They're like, are you okay? I'm like, just come into class. It's like wobbling on in there. They're like, please don't give birth in here. I'm like, no, I'm fine. I'm like, okay. They were on standby.
Okay,
So
so the whole Dookie
the
footnote.
Dookie.
Okay,
So we're back to the Dookie. All right.
girl,
So I'm in the
that was
hospital.
Athena.
Right? It was just coming, and it was coming out of bleh, bleh.
Oh,
That's like all it was.
were you
Every
puking
time,
too?
yes.
Stop,
I was like, bleh, bleh. And it was, thank God the toilet and the sink were uh, like it was
girl.
like it would just
You're
happen.
kidding.
I shit you not, no pun intended. Okay. So with her,
Shitting is one thing, but shitting and
yes, and in labor. Okay. So I'm feeling all of this, but
oh,
it was just a
you're
mess.
getting turned inside out.
I was just yes, it was just a whole fucking mess, okay? And then they wanted me
Oh,
to stay in the bed so they could monitor her. And I didn't have to go through this with Sarai because that
right,
40 and a half hour labor, I basically did it at home. They didn't admit me to the hospital. They
right,
told me I wasn't in active labor
right.
and that um just to come back. 'Cause every time I went to the hospital, no matter how much pain I was in,
Yeah.
I didn't get past like 2 centimeters, but I was laboring hard, but they didn't want to
Oh,
keep me there.
that
So I went to the
sucks.
hospital 2 times my first labor. And I said, you know what? I'm not going back until I can't take it anymore.
Mm.
And that's when my water broke at home in the bathtub because I was trying to, alleviate the pain.
Right.
And then I just had a sudden urge to push. I was just pushing at home.
Oh no.
Yes. And by the time I got to the hospital with Sarai, my first, I couldn't sit in a wheelchair because
Right.
I was crowning.
Right.
So that's why with
Yeah.
Sophia, I said, I'm not pushing this time. I'm gonna
Right.
I know it's shit, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna wait until I get to the hospital to shit my life away. So at least if I
Took my
push,
life away. Well,
at
right,
least if I
because that's what
push,
they say. They say if you feel like you're gonna poop, don't wait,
exactly.
fall
That's why I'm
because it
like, I
could
don't
be the
know.
baby instead.
Exactly. So I'm like, you know what? Let me not. I'm just gonna hold this in. And the
Yeah.
fact that I knew I could hold it in was like, okay, it probably is poop. But
Right,
I
right,
don't
right.
want gravity,
Yeah.
to push the situation with her even
Exactly.
further, right?
Exactly.
So I'm in the hospital. And they wanted to keep me on a monitor, which was something I wasn't used to because of Sarai. I was just like free as a bird, just
Yeah.
suffering in pain and just rocking and doing all my Lamage shit.
Mhm.
And so I kept going to the bathroom and they finally got me into the bed and I needed to have the antibiotics because I think I was strep B, like group
Oh,
strep positive or
damn.
something like that.
Yeah.
And I was with Sarai as well, but I didn't have time to get the antibiotics. But with
Mm.
Sophia, I did, and it burned like fucking wildfire. Remember in Game of
Oh,
Thrones when like
really?
Cersei killed everyone? Like, and was it the Red Keep, I think, or whatever it's called?
Yes.
That's what it felt like was going into my arm. And
Shut
I'm like,
up.
this burns. And then hear this, the fucking nurse, she gives me a heating pad and puts it on top of the fucking burning sensation in my arm and on my head. I never took something and threw it so hard in my life. That shit looked like the cow jumped over the moon. I just took it and I threw it. And when the contraction was over, I said, word to the wise, do not put something fucking hot on someone who is fucking hot and in labor with a burning arm. Cold. It's not frostbite. What are you doing?
I mean,
I'm hot. I'm not going to lose a limb if you put something cold on me.
I'm so confused.
I'm
Why?
sweating. Do you think I want heat? And you know it burns, lady. I know you know it burns. So they didn't do that again. They got me some ice packs, okay? So I'm holding on to the bed, like shaking. The bed is
Yeah.
shaking. Are you
Hmm.
sure you don't want an epidural? If you ask me again, do I want another fucking epidural? It's going to be a problem. They try to force that on you. You have to be like to know what you want. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like as long as
You have
you're
to have the conviction and the
you
like,
have to have a conviction and let them know, like, don't try to force this on me.
right,
I said what I
exactly.
said.
I
And
said
they'll
what
try
I
to do
said.
that to you.
Hmm.
Like, no.
That's why it's important, like for
Ah,
you and
I
your
said
partner
no.
also to be on the same page, because if
Yes.
not, they can be like, "Oh, I'm not sure," and
Right. And then you're
it
gonna
could,
have to fucking break his legs because, like, what did I tell you at
yeah,
home? I told you this is this. But of course,
right,
you can't always stick to your birth plan because
right. Things
unforeseen
that happen,
circumstances
yeah,
can happen. But I was like, ask me again. I said no. I just took that pain. I was just in bed. And it's awful when you're trapped. You know what
yeah,
I mean? You have to kind of just stay there and accept the torture. You
yeah.
can't move and all that stuff.
Oh God, yeah.
And I couldn't use the birthing tub they had in not the birthing tub, but You could use the tub if your water didn't break. And I got
Right.
that
I was
because
just
your
gonna say,
membranes
yeah.
are ruptured and you don't want infection. Because no matter how
Yeah.
much they disinfect, that's like you don't want to sit in
No, of
that.
course.
Gross.
Yeah.
So it was 4:45 a.m. They checked me. I was 7 centimeters. And I said, this next contraction, when it comes, I'm snatching this up off of me, these monitors, and I'm getting up because I cannot do this.
Yeah.
That's what I told the nurse. So I went to get up after they checked me to use the bathroom again, because thanks to Sophia, it was just a fucking crime scene back there. No kidding. I stood up and my mother had to push me back down into the bed because gravity took over and she literally dropped. Like I said, they checked me at 4:45 a.m. Sophia was born at 4:52 a.m.
Shut up.
It's like literally, oh, and it got worse. So Andrew's there, scared. He's like, what is happening? You know what I mean? So I have my legs up, I'm pushing, and he's like, is that the head? They're like, nope. Wrapped it up and pushed it away. Honey, I stood up so I could go to the bathroom. And I was like, wait, I have to go to the bathroom. They said, there's no time. She's coming. I took a shit right there in that bed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And she's the only one out of all the five that I ever did that with because she made me eat.
Are you for real?
Like,
See that of all of them, you've only
yes.
pooped
But
with
I mean,
one?
honey, he was like, is that her hair? Is that the head? They're like, sir, no. And they
Sir,
wrapped
no.
it up and he realized what it was. He said, oh my God.
Shut up.
I thought it was her head. No, that wasn't her hair. That was the other hole.
Oh, that's the other hole.
Thanks to
Hold on.
Sophia, I still
Hold
have
on.
more to get out.
I'm so shocked right now because it's so like it's common to poop when you're
Oh yeah, because you're pushing. Like,
yeah. I mean,
and
like
I mean, I might have popped a turd,
right,
with one of
okay.
the
But
other ones.
you didn't like okay,
No,
have
with
a crime scene
Sophia,
going
it
on.
was like
Athena was a crime scene. Athena was a
it
crime
was a
scene.
full crime scene with her. It was like
Yeah.
tequila, Taco Bell, and White Castle binge night, and then it was just all laid out right there in the
So with
bed.
Athena, I had castor oil
Oh,
because they said that that helped, but I didn't
yes, they said that helps
realize.
induce like the labor, and you want the baby out.
But
That's
I
not
didn't
oil.
realize what it actually was.
Lubed up those intestines
So
right.
not only did I have castor oil, but also they gave me Pitocin. So when I
Oh,
tell you
cramp, cramp, cramp.
it
So
was
you
like
had
great.
greasy intestines.
I mean,
And
the only dialogue in that room when I tell you was, I am so sorry. I am so sorry. I'm
I'm
so
so sorry.
but and they were like, don't worry, honey, it's okay,
They're like,
don't
we're
worry. And
used
I'm
to
like, I'm so
this.
sorry.
You still feel embarrassed, like, bro, it's
Can't help it.
bad enough. Like my
They're
legs is
professionals.
exposed to the world,
It does
and
not
like
matter.
my cooch is just out for the world to see, but I'm shitting myself too.
Yeah.
It was like a fetish porn scene in there. It was like there was
It was somebody's fantasy out there.
it was somebody. It wasn't mine, but I'm so sorry. They're like, it's okay, just keep going. You're
Yeah.
doing great.
I
I'm
mean,
like,
the way they cleaned me up, though,
I
I was
know.
so impressed. And every single time, because
It
when I
was
tell you,
wrapped. Like
it
they
was
wrapped that
like
shit up good. Like
a
they had a little
sheet,
doggy wee
and they
pad,
were
just
just like,
up,
bloop, bloop, bloop.
bloop, bloop, cleaned you right up. And
Yeah,
it's like,
like you look like they're a baby. They just
yes, I feel
everything.
like
They
it's
just knew how
someone.
to clean. I mean,
And I remember I said, oh my God, it stinks. Like I stink so bad.
but what's
Like,
crazy is you were puking too.
yes, when I was
That's insane to
after I
me.
got to the hospital, my body was like literally cleaning itself out. With all
Yeah,
the other ones, even with Sarai, when I had that labor for 40 and a half hours, I didn't have an
really.
appetite. I
Wow.
was fine not eating. I had no appetite.
Oh, I had
That's
I
why I didn't think labor was imminent because, I was hungry
right,
still.
right.
He set me up for the okie doke. And I swear, I'm like, she knew what she was doing. Like, it's a sick little joke with that one.
She said,
She's like,
she's like,
and
I'm
it's
gonna humble
funny.
you.
And this, she humbled me, like, humble thyself. And it's funny because after I had her, like, later on, like, the next night, you're in the hospital.
Yeah.
And it was like 4 o'clock in the morning. And she's looking at me and doing like this. I was
Stop.
creeped. I'm like, who sent you? I'm like, what is this? And to make matters even worse, she would not sleep in that little baby crate bin thing.
Right, right, right.
She refused to sleep in it and she refused to be swaddled. What newborn do you know refuses to be swaddled? I mean, and she had like a blood curdling scream. Not the
Wow.
little cute newborn,
Right.
no, she was screaming like
She had lungs.
she had lungs. She was hollering. And I like to keep them in a room with me
Right.
Because I feel like everybody's trying to steal my child and everybody's feeling crazy.
Yep,
Don't see, no. Then see that I'm gonna have to catch a case in the hospital. So I'm like, just stay with me, making sure, you're mine.
of course.
So I'm like, I'm tired though. And she was being a jerk. I'm like, I'm just gonna take this little non-swaddle jerk. Love you to death, Sophia. And send her to the nursery. Within an hour, they were like, ma'am, she's not sleeping in here. This nursery, she's disturbing the other babies.
Oh shit.
You have to keep her in the room. And she said, if you want her to sleep tonight, you have to hold her. They tell you explicitly, do not hold your baby
Wow.
and go to sleep.
I kind of love that though.
They brought pillows in and lined the floor and lined the bed and told me to put the bed back because that's the only way she was going to sleep. And this is when she was only less than 12 hours old. She
Yeah.
would not sleep in that thing. She was screaming. It would not be swaddled. I could never swaddle her.
Oh
ever.
my God. That
Ever.
just makes me love her even more.
Ever. Oh yeah, it gets better with her. What newborn do you know would stay up like 12, 13 hours straight?
Shut up.
She would not go to sleep. I remember one time picking her up. I support her head. I looked at her. I was like holding her like Simba. I'm like, who sent you? I'm like, why are you doing this? Why won't you just go to sleep? And she's just sitting there looking like I got shit to do. Like, no time to sleep. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my
I'm just
God.
up. I'm here. Stark difference between my first and my second. Sarai didn't cry when she was born.
Yeah.
Sophia,
That was Iskra.
right? Okay, I was like, is she okay? I
That
was
was
so nervous for
scary.
Sarai.
That
It
was
was
scary.
scary because you don't hear anything.
Yeah.
And everyone tells you, you see the shows and
Yeah.
everyone,
Yeah. And everyone freaks out when they don't cry.
right. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's not. I'm like, is she okay? Especially since
Yeah.
I labored at home for 40 and a half
And that
hours.
was Sarai, right? So your
Yeah,
first.
I labored
So
at
your
home.
first, it doesn't scream. I mean, that's
And she's
scary.
not making noise. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, she's fine. She's just looking around. I was like, oh. It's like, okay, good. You know what I mean? I didn't know
Yeah.
if something was happening when I was at home or the cord was wrapped around.
Right.
Get it home.
100%. I mean, you've just been in labor for so long and
And
it's
I'm like, is she okay? And
yeah.
then she gets squeezed out. I'm like, what is happening? But Sophia, she was screaming like, I came into this world kicking and screaming in somebody else's blood and I'll go out the same way. Like, she did not give a fuck. And she was the smallest one out of all of them.
Really? How big was
She had
she?
the biggest personality.
I love it.
She was only 6 pounds, 10 ounces.
Aw.
Everybody else was 7 and better.
7 and better. Who was your heaviest?
Jason was 8. He was the biggest.
Jason,
I had him
right.
about 2 weeks early.
Right. Yes. Iskra was 9
Nope.
pounds and she was a week early.
9 pounds.
She was 9.5 pounds
9.5.
and a week early.
And you bounced back like a champ. I thought you were gonna disintegrate. Like I thought Thanos was gonna snap your cooch. Like and then she was gonna go.
Everybody was dissolved.
But then you told me you still had it. I'm like, it's still there. You're like, yeah.
Yes.
And you're walking. I thought you would have walked like
it was kind of crazy.
Couch.
Yeah, that was crazy. I really don't understand. Like that's just genetics. Genetics is like that.
So,
but yeah, that's genetics. Like I don't understand. Like Sark is just like you're meant to have babies. Like that's it. Like you're just meant to have babies.
But
like
that's crazy. Like
yes.
You weren't walking like you were on Casting Couch at Bang Brothers or some shit on Pornhub. Like you were like you just started walking. Like
I was, and I was just
and
like
people. I'll have you know, she shit that baby out all natural.
Yes, I did.
And they made her take like Pitocin because she was induced. Do you know how much more painful labor is?
Yeah.
When you're induced, the contractions are not natural.
Yeah.
So it's like it's
intense.
It's just worse. It's intensified. No matter how painful labor is, if you have an induction, it is 10 times worse.
Yeah.
That's why when I had my inductions for Aiden and Jason, I told them like, you're not in. No, I let them do for Aiden. I don't let them do shit. One of my best friends was my nurse, she's a nurse practitioner now. Yes, and she actually ran in time to help deliver Drew because that was her department. She's labor delivery nurse, and now she's a nurse practitioner. She was actually my nurse for Aiden. Like she was my nurse. Like I was her patient.
So
cool. It was like the best experience delivering Aiden.
Yeah.
I told her, I'm like, Tassie, you were not administering that Pitocin until this epidural comes first. And I did the same thing with Jason. With Jason, I had like the tabs, they put in.
Yeah.
Start the procedure. That one wasn't bad. That's just like to soften you up. But
Right.
I told him, I'm like, I'm not taking Pitocin nothing until that shit is in my back. I'm like, don't play with me. Like,
You're like, I know where you live.
I literally know where you live. And then the other nurse I had for Jason, she didn't really work. My friend didn't work there anymore. She did per diem, so she was there sometimes, but she wasn't
Hmm.
there that night. So she made sure I had a good nurse. I
Yeah.
was like, don't you
Don't
start
do.
shit until I had that shit in my back. No, baby. That's it. At this point, I told you I had so many damn kids. I was too fat and too tired. I didn't have the mental to go through that, to know, because I knew that
Yeah,
pain was
because
going to
when
be
you
real.
know, and when I was the same way with Iskra, I went in. It was funny because I like you do have to have like an adrenaline sort
And
of
you
like
have to tell
warrior
yourself,
readiness.
like, I'm
Like,
doing this. Like, that's
all
like
right, let's
with
do
Sophia.
this. You're
Like,
like,
I'm,
yes, yeah.
like in
So
Scream when they were stabbing each other.
yeah, like that's what
That's
it is.
that's preparing for natural childbirth. Like, and you have to have it in your mind. Like,
But
I'm doing this.
if you're not, and that's what happened with Iskra. With Iskra, they were gonna induce on
Hmm.
Wednesday. They called on Monday morning
Hmm.
after we dropped off the kids, after
Right.
everything, we just got home. And it was literally like I was so unprepared, but it was so perfect timing. Like we
Hmm.
couldn't say no because they were like, oh, we have an opening. If you want, you can come earlier. And
Yeah.
but I mean, I was so unprepared. And when I went in and I tell you that I was like so unsure. I mean, I was like dying to get in there. And then all of a sudden it happens on a day that I'm not prepared.
Right. Because on Wednesday, if when you're like, Wednesday, I'm doing this, I'm
Wednesday, I'm
going in
doing this.
there.
Wednesday, I'm
Like, she's
doing
gonna be
this.
born on Wednesday. These are plans, but
Yes.
oh no, her birthday's gonna be, I don't know what it's gonna be now. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
it's
Yeah, totally.
different.
Right.
Mhm.
100%. We get in there. And when I tell you I started feeling the contractions, I was like, I'm not prepared for this. I
Right.
was
It's
like,
like you
not
said you
ready
wanted
for
it, but it's like,
this.
okay, shit. You're like, wait, bitch. Like, hold up. Like,
And yeah, so the Pitocin drip, I was like, I took my time with that. They were like, are you ready to increase? I was like, no.
no. It's like anal. Like, you gotta just
You just ease into it. You gotta
like, wait,
ease.
cowboy. Don't just
There's a
jump
lot
in
of
there like
communication.
that and go balls to the
Lot of
wall.
communication. A lot of communication.
You're like, slow down. Like, wait, no, 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 no,
Okay,
no.
wait.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. Like, oh, did the head get, are we past the head yet? Okay. All right. The head's not in yet? It's like, wait a minute.
You know what?
You're
I
like,
can't do this
wait.
today.
You're like, I can't do this today. Take that out. It's like but it's like when you're mom and you're committed, like same thing with anal. Like once it's in that hole, it's like I'm not putting it back in the other one. I
Yeah.
don't want to cross contaminate.
Yeah.
And it's like it's
Like you
already
just
in
have to
here, so I
commit.
just gotta finish. So
Yeah.
we're here. So let's just ride it out, literally. So, so we get to the finish line and
Oh
hopefully you're
my
done quick
God.
because I'm not having a good time right now.
This
That's
isn't fun. This is work.
but yes,
Oh my God.
the toasting is scary and
Yes. Yeah. You know
we're
what?
not
You know what's
ready.
funny though? I had Pitocin with Athena and Iskra, but it wasn't until later that I realized, like, getting ready for Iskra, that I
Mhm.
realized, oh, Pitocin is more intense because I remember with Rafa, it was all natural and I didn't
Mhm.
get induced.
Mhm.
Um, I feel like, and I was laboring for a while. Like
Right.
I didn't have him for like 3 or 4 hours after I had my water broke.
Okay,
So
that's a lot.
yeah. But
Yeah.
I was laboring, like we were doing different positions. I had
Mhm.
my doula there and it was like, it was a whole experience. I was talking on the phone, no joke, with my
Mhm.
brother and sister, like through active contractions,
That's
like I'm
how it was with Drew, and it's like I didn't
yeah,
believe that I was in active labor because there's
yeah.
no way.
Right,
Like
right. Like I
I
would have a
felt it.
contraction. I would literally be like, hold on 1 second. I'd have
Hold
my
on one
contraction.
second. Like I see the machine, it's coming. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And then
Right,
you're like, all
right.
right, let it pass. But then
Yeah.
you're still good. It wasn't
Right.
like
You're
that
still good.
excruciating pain.
Totally,
Not with
totally.
him.
With Pitocin, I'm telling you,
No, no.
I so I didn't I so I'm a quiet laborer. Like I don't
Yes.
I
So
don't
even when I
talk.
had the
I don't make
pain,
any noise.
I
I
just
don't
I just held the bed
I
and
don't
I just
even
shook it.
literally,
Like,
I grip
mm-hmm,
and I just hang on.
mm-hmm.
And it's just like, don't talk to me. Let me, and the good thing is, and this is what I tell everyone, like, yes, labor is scary. Yes, this, that, and the other thing. And, people who want to do it natural, I say, you know what? The best thing about like what you need to get in your mind is that contractions start and stop.
Right.
So if
If
you
you
know
time it,
exactly,
it's
they're
better. It's a
going to
mental thing. Like,
end.
"Okay,
So
great.
you just need to
60 seconds.
count
I can do
through
it."
it. Exactly. And
Hmm.
you know that in 30 seconds or a minute and a half, it's going to be done. And then you're going to
Right.
have at least 30 seconds to chill before
At
the
least
next.
30 seconds. The contractions are a minute and a half, but you're gonna have that 30
When you're
seconds.
going to have that 30 seconds. Let me tell you, when that 30 seconds come around, you're like, but if you can mentally prepare for that, you
Yeah.
can think to yourself, okay, I know this is going to stop because
Hmm.
to go from that extreme of it being so bad
Right.
to having that 30 seconds to breathe, it gives you do feel like,
You
oh,
do.
thank God. There's so much relief there that you
Yes.
go, okay, I got this for the next one, right? Even
Hmm.
if you're just like, no, I don't want to do this anymore. You know that it's gonna
Yeah.
stop. You know
It's
it's
gonna
gonna
stop.
stop. It's not like it's labor the entire way through. And I feel like a lot of people, when they're preparing for it, they forget that. They forget
Hmm.
that you have a contraction, contraction starts, it stops.
And
So
don't hold
that's
your
what the
breath.
counting is. Yeah. And that's
Breathe.
what the counting is. You're just literally waiting for the end to you're present with each moment that passes through, knowing that you're closer to the end of that contraction.
Exactly. That's how with them, like the first one, like time it so that I'm okay, great. All right, like this
Mhm.
was 45 seconds. And then I get like a 5 minute break. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
And then you feel it coming again. You're like, all right, great. Like just prepare
Mhm.
yourself. Don't hold your breath. A lot of times when
Mhm.
you're in pain, like you kind of stop breathing,
Yeah.
which is a
Yeah.
little weird. Like, but don't do that. That's the worst thing you can do.
Yeah,
Just
you
take
gotta breathe. You gotta breathe.
Like take the deep breaths,
Yeah. Yeah.
breath, deep exhales, and it really
Mhm.
helps you get through. But you have
Yeah.
to know that's what you want to do. If you have like any doubt in your mind
Yeah.
and you begin to waver or falter, and
Yeah.
it's okay if you
It's
do,
100%.
don't wait until it's too late to get the epidural.
Yes, exactly.
Like that, you're
Exactly.
like,
100%, 100%. So you got to know where
to
you're
know.
at mentally,
Mm-hmm.
and you got to think to yourself, is there any gray area for me? If
Right.
there is, make sure that you communicate that with your nurses, with your practitioners, so
Yeah.
they know it's okay to ask you a second or a third time. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Yeah.
But if you're like, absolutely not, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, let's just get to the finish line here and don't ask me just so that I can focus on having this baby, just don't ask me. Just
Don't
don't
ask me.
ask.
It's so annoying when they try to do that. One,
Yeah.
they make money off of it.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know,
That's a
the
good point.
anesthesiologist, the hospital makes money because
So
different
much
fees that they
money.
have on. It's so much money. They lose money when people have natural childbirths. I'm convinced if
Mhm.
you can look at it.
That's a good point.
And when you pick your hospitals,
Hmm.
when you pick your practitioner, you have to see what hospital they're affiliated with. But
Hmm.
that's super important. And then it's important to look at those hospitals and
Hmm.
see like what their birthing rates are, like what
Hmm.
percentage of births they use forceps, what
Hmm.
percentage of births have epidurals, what percentage have doulas attending.
Oh, that's a
You
good
know,
point.
it's all
Yeah.
these things that you need to take into account, like the a number of cesareans. So if you see a
Mhm.
hospital that has an obscene amount of cesareans compared to the rest of the state average,
Mm.
start to question like why is that
Right.
rate
That's a
so high?
really good point.
Because a
That's
lot of
really good
times
advice.
it's like, so I had a friend, for example, and it happens all the time to people. Like you go in for an induction, for example, or you're laboring and your water hasn't broken yet, and then they want to rupture your membranes too soon. When I say rupture them too soon, it's before like 7 centimeters. No
Yeah.
one should be going in there and rupturing your membranes when you're only like 3 or 4 centimeters.
Hmm.
Because then the cord could wrap around, which is what
Hmm.
happened to my friend. Like the cord wrapped around a baby's
Wow.
neck, they
Oh,
ruptured the membranes too soon, and then there's no fluid in there. The uterus is contracting, the baby's
yeah.
going through this, and the cord can wrap because there's
Hmm.
nothing free floating anymore.
Right.
And then you have an emergency cesarean situation because the baby's heart rate is dropping
Hmm.
because they're being strangled by the cord because there's no fluid. Like
Hmm.
my doctors knew they would not, they're like, we don't rupture membranes if you're less than like 7 centimeters.
Yeah.
Like they absolutely will not do it. So it's just little things to take into
Is her
account.
is her baby okay now?
Oh yeah, she's fine. She's
Okay.
totally fine. She's like
That's
a
so scary.
it's scary. And it's like, don't let them rupture your membranes
Right,
until you're
right.
like maybe like you're super active. Like let's say maybe you're 5 centimeters, your contractions really are coming fast. And then
Mhm.
maybe it is okay. Every situation is different. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? But
Yeah.
take a look at their cesarean rates and how they
Mhm.
approach things. Because if a
Mhm.
hospital has super high cesarean rates as compared to other states,
Mhm.
I mean, the rest of the state or like other neighboring hospitals, you have to
Mhm.
ask that question,
Yeah.
why? You know, and you have
Yeah.
to advocate for yourself. Like they may
Mhm.
say that, oh, nothing's wrong, you're fine. Oh, just do this. Or like they might try to push the epidural.
Mhm.
If you don't want one and it's not an emergency situation and you
Mhm.
don't need like an emergency C-section or something,
Mhm.
then don't feel forced to
Yeah.
do something because a hospital is telling you to.
Yeah.
If it's
Like
not for the well-being,
tell them to explain. Ask them
right?
to
Like why?
explain. It shouldn't just be, oh, because this is necessary or this is protocol or whatever. It's
Hmm.
like, well, please explain to me like what is
Yes,
happening? What's
right.
happening
Like,
to my body right now? What's happening to my baby right
is
now?
the baby fine? You know what I
Right.
mean? No, the baby's fine. Am I fine? Is my
Yeah.
heart rate fine? Like,
Right.
is like the labor too much for me and you want
Yeah.
me to have an
Yeah.
epidural
Like
because
what is the concern? What is the concern?
what
What are
is the
we trying to
concern?
solve for?
Right. And it could happen because like this woman, she had a spinal fusion.
Mhm.
So she was able to deliver, vaginally, but they were worried that the
Right.
pain would be too much for her
Right.
on
Right.
her spine. So she had to get an epidural and things like that make sense. And you have to have that flexibility when you go
Mhm.
into a situation
Yeah.
like this.
Yeah, because
But
anything
always
can
ask
happen.
questions. Always.
Yeah, always ask, always
Your
ask.
body. At the end of the day, you want to make sure that they're doing what's best for you
Yeah.
and the baby because
Yeah.
you want to
And
make sure
it's
you have the best team.
the
That's
best team and it is very scary. Like I
why.
definitely with Iskra especially, I was in a situation where I was concerned.
Mhm.
But it wasn't until afterwards that I realized like it was okay. But you
Right.
can't help yourself. You're going to be concerned. Like you're going to be, that's why it is really important there's just so much unknown in there.
Mhm.
You don't know what you don't know by virtue of the fact that the event hasn't happened yet. So
Right.
you just simply have to prepare as much as possible with you, your team, with, that communication, that open
Mhm.
communication and asking those questions that you have, learning more about your body and what can happen. But yeah, it was funny because they with Rafa, I was like way ready to go, and
Mhm.
so they tore my bag. But
Mhm.
I mean, Rafa's bag was so thick. She had to go in there. She was like, "This is the thickest
Really?
bag I've ever seen."
Oh,
Yeah.
he had the good bag. He didn't have like the cheap Walmart plastic. He had like,
That shit was
like the
Chanel
really
for
good plastic
sure.
shopping bags that's like, oh,
That
that
was
never
like
break and you want to take it home. Like,
it
this is
was like GI Joe. Yeah.
a good
And
garbage bag. He had a hefty.
they even told me when after the placenta came out, they were like, this is the biggest placenta I've ever seen. And people were like coming in to see it because they were just like, wow. And you could see
Wow.
where they were trying to break through
Like he
it.
was nourished.
He was, yeah, exactly. But when the bag broke, or when they broke the bag, there was meconium. So it was
Oh,
really clear it was time, right? It was really
right.
clear. There was no, and it felt right and there was no question.
Mm-hmm.
With Athena, her bag broke on her own. With Iskra, they broke my bag at 7 centimeters and they were like, this is going to happen. And I
Yeah.
was concerned though about because I was like, is it too soon?
Right.
Are we pushing this along too much? Because I always had this instinct with Iskra that she needed to be pushed along, but not too quickly.
Like, don't
And
rush
thank God, yeah, thank God, because everybody was telling me, oh, like it's fine, whatever, she's gonna be normal size. Again, 9.5 pounds.
What is
Everybody
your
was
idea of
surprised.
normal? That's subjective, okay?
Right.
Because
Well, but they didn't tell. And the doctor, she gave me my flowers. She was like, "You were right." She was like, "You're right." She's like, "I had no idea. I had no." And they did that though with every one of my babies.
hmm,
Rafa was 9 and change. Athena was 8.5. Iskra was 9.5. Nobody knew that I was gonna have big babies,
But you
but
carry
I knew
small
it.
though, considering the size of those. You fucking, that's huge. Like, what
This
are you birthing? That is
I
insane.
always and I would tell her, I'm like, I make big babies. I make big babies. And she'd be like, yeah, like we're
Correct.
looking there, but it's because they would do the measuring, they would check,
Yeah,
double check,
yeah.
triple check.
But you know.
I'm like, I know I make big babies.
It's
And
not your
yeah,
first rodeo. And they still will try to, like, I don't give a damn what those measurements say because
yeah,
all those measurements are
yeah.
just estimations.
Right,
Your
exactly.
baby can be 2 pounds smaller than what they
Totally.
estimate.
Totally.
You don't know. That's why
Yeah.
people like you shit out there and they're 10-pound babies. And it's like, oh, yeah, I just gave birth to a 3-month-old. That's
Because they
fine.
don't know. They look at me, they think, oh, she's small and
Small.
she's carrying well.
Right.
But bruh.
Like,
Now you look at Iskra and it's like, yeah, no, she's massive. She's as big as she's actually above average still for a 6-month-old, and she's 4 months.
she's in the 200th percentile. They made a whole new
She's in
percentile
the
just for
200%.
200. It's like she's off the fucking charts. Like, and it's rare because she's a girl too. Normally you see that with boys
Yes.
more so, but she's like, you know what
Look,
I mean?
I'm
You can't
excited.
get
I'm excited to finally get my basketball player. That's all I'm saying.
maybe volleyball. I
Yes.
could see, but I'm just saying,
Yeah.
she's probably out there lifting weights right now in the back. I don't
That's so
know.
funny. Oh
Athena
my
Burma
God.
Gymnastics, she's out there
Yeah.
shooting out into the
Yeah.
mountain. I don't
We
know.
we definitely didn't ever see ourselves being these parents, but we definitely have had these conversations where we're like, okay, Rava is not the scholar. He's gonna
Don't feel
be like an
bad. I do that in
actor
mine.
or performer, entertainer, something
Mhm.
not
I'm
serious.
like, you're gonna be something. Just don't waste my money and go to college. Please
Oh my God, for real. We're
don't.
like community college has
I'm
got
like,
y'all
don't even waste my money with that. Like Sophia, I love her dearly, but she doesn't even want to go. She wants to go to cosmetology school. And I'm like,
back. Okay.
yes,
You're like, good.
you're on
You
business,
know that.
you're
You
on
know that.
board. She's into beauty, she's into,
Hmm.
aesthetics and things like that's
Love
her.
it. Love it. No, yes,
Yes, and she knows that. And she's
she's
almost,
gifted.
and I like that. Don't
Hmm.
waste my money. Don't
Waste
waste,
of
like,
money. So
college is
actually,
expensive.
in California, you get the first 2 years of community college free.
Well,
Well, I guess we're
I knew
romantic.
I should have worn my LA Dodgers hat today. Something told me, I'm like, why do I have that? I'm like, no, I'm gonna wear all black. I'm like, damn it. I should have put my
I
LA
almost
hat.
wore my black LA Dodgers hat too. That would have been fun. We went
Easter.
to these.
She's wearing it right now while she's working out. Keeps the sweat out of her, the sweat off her eyes and the sweat out of her eyes too. See, at least
Yeah.
they get it
Yeah.
because if your kids mess up, at least you don't have to foot the bill.
Yeah.
I mean, you did
Yeah.
fit the bill because you're paying taxes and stuff, but it's
Yes.
already taken out. See, you
Hmm.
get it. And that's
Yeah.
okay. Like,
It's okay. Exactly. It's
don't,
okay. You do
please
have
don't
to
waste my money
transfer
and
to
go to
a
college.
university afterwards or like a
Okay.
college, right?
And even then, you guys have a great state system too.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, UCLA, hello.
Yeah. 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 No, we got a
A
lot
lot
of
of
good
good
options out
state
here.
colleges. You have good options.
Public school sucks, but
It
in the
sucks,
major
right?
cities,
When you're in like certain,
in
if you're
major
in the city
cities,
proper, like LA, for example, I feel like it's how New York City
LAUSD is
are.
terrible.
New York City schools are terrible.
San Francisco is atrocious.
Really? I can't
Atrocious.
say I'm surprised, but that in those areas, the people with money, they
Yeah.
send their children to the private schools anyway.
That's exactly what it is. They send their kids to private school. I mean, there's a lot of like the whole education system is fucked because just a web of layers,
Mm-hmm.
complicated of like why it's all fucked uppery.
Yep.
But they're even like their textbooks would be like 2 decades old. Like it's just bad.
Also, damn, are they still in the USSR? Or do they know that Russia is a real
I know,
Russia now, not
right?
the USSR?
That's a good question.
Like, do they know that, like, what country is it?
Like Kim Jong died.
Yeah, and that's a Kim Jong-un. And what Cambodia used to be a different name, or did they switch it to Cambodia? Like it's been going
Oh,
through different names.
I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
like, do they know these things? They're like,
Yes,
oh
exactly.
yeah,
Like that's the problem. That's the
they
problem.
still have apartheid in South Africa. Nelson Mandela is still alive. Things have
Nelson
changed.
came back? What?
Like, right? I'm like, and
What do they
that,
call him? They call him Mandu. They call it, there's like a nickname that the South Africans call him, like Mandu or
they
something.
do. They have a name. I don't remember what it is. They're
Yeah.
like, he died. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
these textbooks are kind of old, aren't they?
Kind
They
of.
like China is still the most populated country. India's like, they are not. It's over here now. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Yeah. The
it's sad.
crown has passed.
And it's
Yeah.
like, and you pay all this money. Like people who live in LA, San Francisco,
Hmm.
these aren't like rural, like
Yeah,
middle of
exactly.
nowhere
These aren't
towns.
the Hobunks. Yeah, no,
It's
no. So
hello. You
you'd
wouldn't expect
expect.
Manhattan to have bad school district. I mean, these are
Yeah.
the most expensive places to live,
Real
like in the
estate. Yeah.
country. And
Yeah.
you can't even send your children to private school.
Yeah. It's
I mean,
crazy.
public school, you have to send them to private.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then you
Yeah.
create the further downward spiral or whatever. But
Yeah.
it's like, I'm
Around
not
here,
gonna be
it's
the one to try to
Manhattan.
fix
Yeah.
that problem.
Right. That.
That's on you guys. I have fun. I would be thinking the same thing they're thinking. Like, I'm not trying to. That's not the hell I'm gonna die on.
Yeah.
Get in the car, get in the Bentley. We're going to a good school.
Yeah, yeah.
Going to
Here, thankfully, I mean, we're really happy about the move we made to Santa Clarita because the
Mhm.
schools over here are actually really good.
And I'm on Long Island, and that's one of the reasons that we moved, to Long Island, where we
Mhm.
live. Like we live in the best district. I mean, yeah, we live in the best school district in our county. So it's like
Mm,
instead
it's a
of spending that
no-brainer.
money on private school, you put it toward your house and you just deal with it that way. We have too many
Yeah,
kids for private school. There's no way. I'd
yeah.
be selling butthole on OnlyFans everywhere else otherwise. So
We'd be
that's
selling the video of those, the
the
pregnancy,
pregnancy, the
the
childbirth.
labors,
Did you get that footage? You know what I'm saying? Like, did you get that? It's a
because
market.
that's that child's
Hi,
college
Aiden.
tuition.
Here he comes. This chip's too early.
Hey, buddy.
Hi, Aiden.
Hi, buddy.
You ate your lunch? All of it?
Yeah.
You did?
Yes.
All of it?
Yes.
I don't think there's any more chips left. Did you eat it all?
Yeah.
Wait, but are there any more chips?
Yes.
What chips are left?
Doritos
Mhm.
and crunchy Cheetos.
Oh,
Mm,
yes. Which one do you want?
And crunchy Cheetos.
Why should I give you more chips?
because you love me.
Because I want it. Go ahead, Aiden. You ask Dad? No, you didn't ask him, but go ahead. Go tell him I said you could have it. And he'll open it for you.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
Oh.
Dude, they really do have iskras. I'm like shocked. He's blonde.
Oh, yeah, all the boys are.
That's so funny.
Mm-hmm. Jason.
Genetics is wild, man.
Sarai's hair is similar to that color too. Sophia's the only dark haired one.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
And he's pale. Literally. Oh,
Literally like alabaster. Like his skin is like
yeah.
alabaster.
It's like porcelain almost.
Yeah.
Funny story with him in the hospital.
Mm.
The nursery was pretty quiet. There wasn't a lot of babies born, like on his day or I guess the previous days, whatever. So it's like maybe, I don't know, like 7, 8 babies in the nursery.
Yeah.
You tap, you get settled in your room. They took the baby up before you, you get settled, you tap on the glass to go get the baby, you want to bring them to your room.
Mhm.
And like a tap, I'm like, hi, I'm like, okay, 1 second. And so they usually can kind of figure out what
Yeah.
baby belongs to what parent.
Right.
They're going through, it's 2 rows, like a 4 each. They're looking, and then they look at each other with like a scared look on their face. Like, we don't have this black lady's baby. I saw like the fear in their eyes. They were like, they looked at each other, and I had to knock on the window again. I'm like, that one. They were like, and then they bring them around, they make you read off like whatever's on your tag that
Yeah.
matches theirs.
Yeah.
They didn't think he was mine.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Thank God for the baby LoJack because
Yeah,
that
they had the baby
has like all the
LoJack,
items.
and my number matched his, and I
Right.
was like, I had to tap on the glass, like, and they were like, and they got him, and they made me verify the number like 3 times to make sure that the little fair skinned child was mine. Yes.
Oh my God,
what
that's so
happened.
funny.
And lastly, about childbirth, when you push out that placenta,
Yeah.
it is like the biggest relief of your
Oh,
life.
It's
right?
such a, it's a special kind of release because
It's
it's
like you get,
soft.
yeah, it's like it's
It's just
like,
wow.
yeah, that just
It just
comes out,
slithers out.
It just slithers out. Yeah, it feels like
And
it's
it's like,
there, but
it's nice and warm. It's just,
it's like you've been holding it in all day.
yeah. And it's attached too. So it's not like it's warm water that now is getting you all messy. It's
Right.
like, it's just warm and just comes right out of you. It's like,
You know what I
oh,
mean? It's like
yeah.
you give birth to the baby, but you're like, something's missing. Like, I feel like I need to,
Where's your twin?
like, something's in there. Like, you just feel like something is still sitting in there, especially if
Right,
you
right,
don't
right,
have
right.
the epidural. So
Yeah.
you still feel it. It's like, did you
Interesting.
get everything?
Did you get
And, you
everything?
know, like the more children you have, the harder it is for it to come out. So they kind of massage you hard. I feel like they want to start.
Yeah. Actually, with the third one, they had to massage me.
They're like I'm like, okay, just hold on a minute. It's gonna come out. I'm like
Oh,
massaging you.
this is what I didn't know and what people deserve to know. With every labor, because you know that after, right? So after you have the baby,
Mhm.
right? Then you have the contractions afterwards because your uterus is
Yes.
contracting, it's getting back into place.
Hmm.
I did not know this. The pain, the more children you have, the contractions afterwards hurt
Oh yes,
more.
it's awful because I mean it's all stretched out at this point. It's like, girl, I had extra work to do to try to shrink back down. I'm
Girl,
like, I'm used goods.
when
So
I tell
this
you,
one with Jason, it was like
oh my God.
it was painful. It was like, is this worse than the labor right now? And you're like, am I still in labor?
Oh
Because
my God. It was bad. I was like, what is happening? I was so confused. And then somebody said it to me. They were like, yeah, they were like, it's okay that it's painful. It's, it's your third baby.
it
With
hurts
each
more
baby, it hurts more with each. I'm like, that is crazy.
every subsequent birth is gonna hurt more. And also they they'll have blood on standby for like a transfusion because after you deliver the placenta, they're afraid that you might bleed more with every
Mm.
pregnancy you have. So you're a
Oh,
higher bleed risk the
interesting.
more pregnancies you have.
Wow. The more
You know,
you,
after you bleed, after you have the baby, you bleed. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
the more children you have, the more likely you are to bleed more.
more interesting.
Hmm. So
Wow.
yeah, that's why they work hard to get that placenta out too, and then make sure it's intact,
Yeah,
and they
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
keep checking your bleeding. I don't know if you noticed with your third pregnancy postpartum, they kind of come in there and keep checking you to make sure like how your bleeding going.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You
Oh,
know what I
yeah.
mean?
I
It's like
had clots. I had like fist-sized clots. They were like worried, but then they were like, "Oh, okay, it's fine."
okay, like, oh, she's good. She
Yeah,
pushed
yeah.
out.
But
It's her
the,
body trying to reclaim itself.
get
She's
right. Reclaim it.
she just had like she pushed out like a toddler. She's, it's gonna be some blood there. She's fine.
Yeah, just
Good.
be
It's like,
prepared.
yeah, and then you feel the clot. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
you're like, did I just poop?
Did
But I
I
don't feel like
just
I
poop
pooped.
out of my coochie?
You're like, but I don't feel like I pooped. And then you look, you're like, oh my gosh. Like this, I took pictures of it. I'm like,
I
I was like, look. I'm like, you see this thing? I'm
like
like, oh my God. I'm
I
like,
need this for documentation purposes
yeah, it's like I gotta take a picture of this. It's like you don't even
because
want
no
to
one's gonna believe me.
right, and you don't even want to flush it. And I remember I was just sitting there looking at it
Oh my God. Isn't that funny how we have like pride? It's like when you look at your poop afterwards and you're like, yay,
like I did that.
I did that. Me.
When I saw that blood clot, I'm like, I passed that. And you can feel it when they're that large. It's like
It's like, bloop.
feel them. You know what I mean? Like feel like the actual clots. And a lot of women who have like heavy periods and things, they can relate.
Yeah.
Like imagine sneezing, when you're on your period, it's like you're not on the toilet. It's like a crime scene kind of thing. Like you're like,
That was me
oh,
yesterday,
right. See, there you
girl.
go.
I
It's like
literally sneezed and I was like, well, good thing I got a
like
diaper
there's a
on.
jellyfish all over the place in there. And then you're like, I don't know if a pad would have been able to hold this. I'm kind of
Yes.
happy that this passed when I was on the toilet.
No joke.
It's like you gonna think you gave birth to something else, like it's an
Mm-hmm.
alien in there or something. Because some of those clots are huge,
Mm-hmm.
and then they
Mm-hmm.
never tell you, like in the baby books. Because my first, I had her, and when did I have her? 2009.
Yeah.
It was like what to expect when you're expecting. Remember that book?
Right. Yeah. Oh,
I don't
yeah.
even know if they still, print them anymore, but
Oh,
everyone,
yeah. They do. They
okay.
do.
Those
Yeah.
books were the thing, up until the internet like really took over.
Right.
And they don't. tell you about like the aftermath of the war that's coming for you, whether it's like the darkened belly, your
Yeah.
skin changes,
Yep.
the discharge that you'll have.
Yes. And the different
And it's like,
stages of discharge. There's
yes,
different
and
stages of discharge.
you're like, you're looking around like, what is that smell?
Hmm.
You're like, it can't be me because I know I just showered. And you going around, you sniffing, and then you're like, oh, but it is.
It is me.
What is that? It was like Leukorrhea, leukorrhea, whatever it's called. They don't tell you
Gangrene.
about that part. They just tell you, oh, you bleed. And then, that's it. No, you're still like shedding and all types of
Yes. Yeah,
colors,
all types of
yellow.
stuff.
And it's
All
like,
types of stuff. I'm telling you, there's like
not
there
cute.
then there's like a yellow
Yes.
gunk that comes out like right
Yes.
when you're in like some like towards the final stages, there's like a
Right. Like
yellow
after you
gunk.
finish bleeding out, the yellow thing
The
just,
yellow stuff comes out. Totally. And it's just like, okay.
you're like,
You
I
should.
don't smell like that normally. Like, what is that? You're like, I bathe, okay. I'm a
I'm
clean person.
thorough.
I'm thorough, right? And you're like, I don't know what that smell is. That's
Yeah.
crazy. And you go wipe me like, oh,
Uh,
it's me. And I had to do some research on that, but who was it with? After Sarah, I was like, what does that smell?
that's
They
why.
don't have that in the baby books.
Mm-mm.
He's
Oh,
walking by, none of that. Just,
he's like,
he's just walking on
he's
by.
got such good posture.
He does, right?
I'm
Right.
like,
They don't tell you that shit in the baby books. Like all the things that could happen. Like, hey, make sure you keep an eye on your blood pressure. If you feel a little
no,
weird, make sure you
no,
let someone know
no.
because your blood pressure could spike,
Yep.
in the early stages of postpartum.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
you're still
Spike,
able
it
to
can
do things like
drop. It
it
can
can
get
drop
all out of whack. Yeah, 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 yeah.
everything. Like your
Everything.
body can react in a myriad of ways. And
Totally.
no pregnancy is the same as another. So with
Uh-uh.
each pregnancy I had, it's like, oh, but you've done this before. Don't be
Right.
nervous. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Every pregnancy is different. Your body can react differently. You're a different age
totally.
with every pregnancy, and it's just every pregnancy is different.
Hmm.
It can
I
be
want
diabetic for one pregnancy, but not for the other. Having your
literally.
exam stage is different, and you just have to have your head on a swivel, and just be
Yes.
mindful. If something doesn't feel right, even if it seems so mundane or minuscule, go get it checked out.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It's okay. Like literally, it's okay, not just because it's your body, but also because that's the doctor's job.
That's their job. Don't be
That's their
mad.
job, their
You're getting
job.
paid.
And if they make you feel weird about asking, tell them. Be like, I don't appreciate because I this is my baby and I want to make sure that I'm going to be supported through this process. Even if it seems stupid to you because you've seen 20 pregnant women today, it's not
Doesn't
stupid to
matter.
me. It doesn't
Right.
matter. Yeah,
Exactly.
100%.
Like,
100%.
and if you have a provider that makes you feel that way,
Yeah.
find a new one.
Find a new one. Yeah,
You're
if you
not
can,
special.
find a new one.
Find a new
And it's your insurance.
right. I'm paying you. Like they're providing you're paying them. They're providing you a
Yeah,
service.
we
And
don't
if
live in
you
a
feel
socialist
uncomfortable,
country.
yes, maybe
We
you
don't
don't
live
have
in a socialist country. So they are providing a service
Mhm.
for payment. That's
Right.
how I have to remind myself of that, especially when like, when you go to the emergency room and sometimes you got something going on with the kids and you don't know what it is. So you take them to
Hmm.
emergency. And sometimes you get those nurses that are just like so judgmental because you bring in your kid for apparently nothing. You know
Right.
what I mean? I get so that's Sark knows that that's my like anxiety trigger is
Right.
like going to like
Triggered,
feeling
right? Like
like
that'll
okay,
do
these
it.
people are professionals, but I'm like I need to do, and it's like you paid for this. You're paying for this. This is your
Right. It's
insurance.
not like you're volunteering, but you're getting paid. You're getting paid the same no matter
You're
what.
not allowed to get annoyed with my ass, okay? Because you are
You're
literally
not.
getting paid for this.
Like you don't get annoyed because I'm here for something that you think is trivial.
Exactly.
You're trained to do this. There are people who don't know. They
Yeah,
don't know that they don't have to bring them to the emergency room for this. They
mhm,
could be first time parents or they
exactly.
could have experienced something in their life previously. Like you just never know. You know
Exactly.
why they're here, and it's
Yeah,
better safe than sorry. And again, you're
exactly.
getting paid no matter what. It's
100%.
not like I dragged you out of your house and put you in these scrubs. Like, no, you signed up for this, and that's fine. Like you're still getting paid, right?
Yeah.
You're getting paid the same. So
Hmm.
don't let anyone make you feel like
Right.
you're a bother,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to the health of you and your baby, because things,
100%. Never let anyone let you feel
I don't
like you're a
care if
bother.
it's a drop of blood and it
Mhm.
stopped, but you still feel uncomfortable, go get it
Mhm.
checked. Or you feel the baby's not moving as much.
Oh
And
my
that's
God. Yes,
things like that.
exactly.
But I didn't care. And it's like, I'm going to poke and prod and make my hands cold. And
Yeah.
if you're not reacting, I'm going.
Oh,
I'm not
yeah.
going to my doctor, probably going to the emergency room,
Yeah.
right to them.
100%.
They send you to the prenatal, the
Yep.
maternity ward anyway, just to check
Mm-hmm.
on you. Because when you're pregnant, you get special, preferential treatment. There's
Mm-hmm.
nothing that's stupid about it. Go get
Yes.
checked. Go make sure.
Always.
Okay.
Always. When in doubt, just go get checked.
Always go get checked because it could be nothing or it could be something.
Yeah.
Like, especially towards the end, you'll feel the baby move less. I don't want to hear that. I still
Mm-mm.
want a punch or some type of action. Like,
Yeah, totally,
and you don't have to
totally.
wait until your appointment. That's in 3 days. Like, no,
Mm-mm.
I need some
No,
answers
no.
now.
You want to know? Go.
Right, because you don't know what's going on, and they're like,
Yeah.
just go.
Again, if you
Go.
have the insurance, use it.
Yes, and
Use
even
that
if you don't,
insurance.
they can't repossess the baby. Good luck paying it back. It goes. What are they gonna do? Fine you? Nope.
Nope.
The state if they can pay
This is so funny.
for people to live in hotel shelters, that's fine. Baby, they could pay. Your baby. It's fine. Just say, I don't know. I don't have a social. I'm good. Just go in that hospital, but I don't have anything. It works for everybody else. So let it work for you too.
Let it work for you too.
Let it work for you too. Go get checked. But like I said, are they going to repossess the baby? No, they don't want it. You'll be all right. Just ignore the
It's
mail.
so
It stops
funny.
after a while.
It's so funny.
But yes, go get checked. I always just say, like I said, I've had all these children, but I still feel nervous. Like, oh, let me just go call the doctor. Maybe they can come see me, put me on a monitor.
Yeah.
Just to make sure, or you feel like that pressure. Make sure you're still closed up. Make sure it literally just is pressure and that you're actually not in preterm labor. Because sometimes Braxton Hicks can be real. And
Mm-hmm.
you might have a better tolerance of pain than you realize, or
Mm-hmm.
it could be anything. Just go
Yeah.
get checked. There's no harm in checking.
100%. Always, always, always. Because it really, like, it doesn't matter if it's your first baby, your fifth baby.
It doesn't
It does
matter.
not matter. It is okay for you to go in there and to ask questions.
Yeah.
That is their job.
That is their job.
That's their job. And they wouldn't have a job if they didn't have patience.
Exactly.
And you are the patient. So suck on that.
Suck on it. Deal with it.
Suck
Like,
right on it.
just suck on that shit. Like, don't play with me. Like, I'm telling you, like, don't play with me. You have to advocate for yourself because people will try to, diminish your concerns, whatever you're saying.
Yeah.
Like, no, you have to be very vocal and very adamant.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing that they can do but listen to you.
Exactly. And it's not like they can turn you away. They have to sit there and listen.
They have to listen. And if you feel like I said, your doctor's not doing it, go to the hospital because they will listen because they have to.
You can also ask for a different doctor. So if you're in the emergency room, and a doctor comes to you that's assigned to you or a nurse assigned to you, you can always ask. And when you're in labor too, you can ask for a different doctor. You can ask for a different nurse.
Just like what they say in New Jack City, cancel that bitch and bring me another one. Like, don't play with me, especially at a time like this. Cancel. Like, you're canceled. This is over. Oh my God, it's so crazy seeing you as you. Oh my God, it's you with the mustache.
It's me with a mustache.
Oh my God, he's smiling. You guys look alike. That is Rafa. I always hear so much about you. So nice to meet you. And I always tell your mother that when she sent me a picture of you, it looks like her. I'm like, why did you cut your hair? And then I'm like, oh wait, not you. And then I see the stash. Oh my gosh, it's creepy. It's creepy in a good way. Oh my God,
I have to
I don't have that. My children don't look like me. I'm just a vessel.
That's how it is with Iskra.
Yeah, exactly.
You look like the staff.
I'm the help. And it doesn't help that I'm brown and that they're fair skinned.
Exactly.
I look like the nanny.
They're the porcelain skinned ones, and we're the help.
Yes.
We are the help.
I'm the help. It's okay. Fine. Okay. Okay, I've learned to deal with it.
Dad's wondering when you're gonna be done.
Oh, okay. Thank you for being his messenger.
Any messages from the Capricorn?
All right. You gonna tell me how acting was?
It was good. It was fun. Yeah.
Cool. All right. You can tell me about it in a second.
Okay.
Bye.
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 Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. He looks just like him. And then,
it's really funny.
Camera,
You're like, oh my God.
I mean, genes are so strong.
Genes are strong.
Do you realize how much he looks like you?
I do and I don't. Like, you know what I mean when you're kind of like self-blind?
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, I see him. Like I know he resembles me. But
Yeah.
like, no, I want you to when you go back and do this editing, I want you to look at him next to your face. Or like look at other pictures when he's next to your face.
Yeah.
It's literally all you need to do is put a strip mustache on and you can do them for Halloween. Just hair back. Oh my God. I shit you not. One day when you sent me a picture, I'm like, why'd you cut your hair? I was really about to go off. I'm like, she fucking cut her hair off. She fucking cut her hair. Oh, that's a man. Yep.
Oh my God. Do you hear him? You hear his voice? That's what
Yes.
you have in your future.
He's a man.
It's really weird. Like I look at it, I'm like,
Like when I look at
where
my
all these
son,
legs come from? Where'd
yeah,
all
I
this
look at my
body come from?
sons and I'm like, you're gonna have hair on your nuts. And it's like really
It's
weird.
crazy. Yeah, like
You're gonna
yesterday
have
he was
hair.
like
Like,
he was going like this and he had like all this
yeah.
like a full
Oh
bush under his armpit. I'm just like,
no. And I look at Andrew and like he's hairy. And I'm like, you're gonna look like that. Look like that. You're gonna have like a little ass fro. And I'm like, I'm scared. And it's like you're gonna like, they play with I'm
oh
like, put the
yeah.
birdie
Or
back
they
in the
scratch it. They just sit there and just
yeah, they be playing
like
Aiden, especially he be lying and just looking his little walnuts. And then he stand, I'm like, ugh. I'm like, put the birdie back in the cage. That's gross. I don't want to see it. It's disgusting. And they be touching it. Jason too, he puts
it's the
little
same with the girls though. You can't, it's like you have to like hold yourself back because you want to be like, but you don't want them to have a complex either.
right, exactly. Like, don't do that. Right. But then it's like, okay,
It's
go.
okay.
If you want to do that,
We're,
go into
we
the
like to
bathroom.
cover our, that's yours. That's no one else's.
Right.
That's what I always say. I'm like, that's yours, no one else's. So
No, it's like,
we don't
I
need
don't
to.
need to see.
Oh my God.
Oh, and last thing I'll say before we go,
Yeah.
for the mothers who are having daughters,
Yes.
babies can get their periods.
Oh, that's a very important thing
So,
to say.
quick
Yeah.
reminder, if you're in
They
the
can even
hospital,
lactate a little bit.
they lactate too, yes.
They can lactate. Yep.
But seeing blood in their diaper might make you unhinged or throw you up the edge and be like, okay, who touched my baby? Like, what is happening?
Like I said, I might black out. Like I would black out and I
You
would
might
wake
black
up
out.
in a
And they
jail
don't tell
cell.
you. They'll tell you after you're in a jail cell after you come to, and then there's like blood everywhere. Girl,
This
babies
is not
can
my
get their
blood.
periods
This is
for like
blood
up
of
to
me.
2 weeks. So just be mindful of that. Okay. So if you see blood in
It's
their
very important.
diaper,
Yeah.
you can still go to the doctor, get checked, but people are weird and shit happens out there. But just
hmm
know that
hmm
girl babies do get their periods
It can
sometimes,
happen.
and
It
it's like
can
a
happen.
one-off occurrence.
Yeah.
It's not something that'll keep happening frequently.
Right. No.
They can lactate
Yeah.
because
It's
the
from
hormones
the way the
pass through
doctor explained it to me is it's because of the mother.
the mother. Mhm.
It's something I don't even know, but it's because of the hormones. They're getting some of those hormones
Yeah,
and
it passes
it can
like
trigger, yeah, in
the
their
uterus.
hormones and it can
Mhm.
trigger lactation or it can trigger
Yeah.
because all that stuff that you're going through, all the hormones that are passing through you to
Mhm.
initiate your lactation and
Yes.
initiate your uterus to start contracting can also initiate their
Right.
uterus or their
Exactly.
lactation.
And they're
Yeah.
connected to you. So it's crazy. It's like
Yeah.
you're really connected to these children.
Mhm.
Like, like, and it's
Like they
insane.
really are your
Like,
baby.
it's really like when I'm pregnant with boys, I develop more body odor and my leg hair grows
Interesting.
than
Girl,
when I have
my
my
hair is
girls.
coming back, and I'm like, it was so nice when I was just smooth like a seal's ass.
It's crazy. And because you had that extra estrogen too. It's
So
like you're
nice.
like really feminine. You know what I mean? Like
Nice.
when I was pregnant with the girls, it's like I didn't really have that issue. But with the boys, I'm like, who smells like? I was like, is that me? I'm like, oh hell no. I was funky. Like I use like more like stronger deodorant,
Yeah.
clean these pits a little more. And then I
Mhm.
noticed that the hair on my legs would grow more. And my legs don't
Wow.
really grow hair. But when I was pregnant with my
Wow.
sons, my legs got
Oh my
hairier,
goodness.
the
You get a little,
testosterone, because
oh,
it's like crossing over. So
yeah.
they're like really impacting you.
Wow.
I'm happy I didn't grow testicles. All I can say about that. Well, not a bad trade-off. Just use the razor and scrub those pits a little harder.
There you go. And when you're darker, when you have melanin, you
Mm-hmm.
get like those dark patches.
Melasma too, your neck could
Your
turn.
neck, the armpits, the
Armpits, yeah.
stomach. The
Oh,
thighs.
my thighs. So I got like fat as hell, right? I'm like, what if my thighs look like a charbroiled Whopper? Oh, baby, no. I had to put some powder and some non-aluminum deodorant between my thighs and under my breast too, because they started rubbing and things get dark. But ladies, just know that if that does happen to you, it does go back. Just
Mhm.
put some powder and the
Yeah.
kind of natural.
Almond oil is really good too. Almond oil. That's my
Oh,
go-to.
yes,
Almond oil all day.
yes. And try not to scratch your stomach or other places, when your skin is stretching, because it can
Mhm.
help.
Yeah.
It will contribute to stretch marks rather.
Yes. If it's itchy and you're scratching, that literal
Mhm.
that itchiness is the tearing of your
Yes, it's like the
skin.
tearing of
Yeah.
the fabric that is your skin.
Almond oil
So
all
yes,
day.
grease yourself up. I mean, get so greasy that you can slide across concrete like it's a slip and slide. Like get really greasy and keep moisturizing it and just like pat it.
I love it. This was like all like PSA. This
I
was
know, like
this was
PSA,
mom
like
shit
before
and
I forget,
PSA.
like before I forget. And
We're
here's
doing God's work
another one.
today.
It's pretty bad. I'll keep it off. It's sad. I know a girl who died from it, from after childbirth. It was a type of, it's
Oh
an
shit.
amniotic embolism. Something with like the blood from the amniotic sac. Like it went into her bloodstream. Like she
Oh
was
my
fine.
God.
Like we went to boot camp together, everything. She was posting pictures, like, oh, we're about to get induced, smiling with her husband. And then like 2 hours later, it's prayers for Nicole because she's in like some coma because she like lost oxygen to the brain and was like permanently disabled.
Oh
And
my
like,
God. I've heard, yeah, that's what's the other thing that can happen? Shoot. It
yeah,
was
hers is amniotic embolism.
okay.
That's something they don't tell you about, but it can happen. And it's
Wow.
usually fatal.
Jesus.
And she eventually died, I think, last year.
Oh
And
my
this happened
God.
like in 2014. So she lived like in a care facility for 8 or 9 years. She never got to like really be home. I take care of her son, never.
Wow.
And she would hold him in pictures. I don't know if she was like fully there, but
Right.
like they would like place him in her arms, but she was never able to. She was in a care facility. I don't even know if she could speak
Oh my,
or if it was like coherent speech. Like she became totally disabled. I mean,
that's
luckily they saved her life. They were fast acting, but
yeah.
so many things could happen.
Yeah, you got to count your blessings. Count
Yes,
your
and that's
blessings.
something, be vigilant. If you feel
Like
something is wrong,
always advocate for yourself and
always.
always know that, like don't take your health for granted. If
Mhm.
you are feeling good, if you are, like don't take that for granted. Like know
At
your
all.
blessings. Know your
Seriously.
blessings. Count them
Yeah.
stars because
Because
it can be gone in a second.
yeah, like one of my friend, the one who helped deliver Drew and Aiden, she was a labor delivery nurse before she was a nurse practitioner. And she would tell me sometimes like, oh, we had a patient die today in labor and delivery. Like it happens. Like she sees it.
Yeah,
Like
that's
it's crazy. And it's like we're in America. You wouldn't think that happens
yeah. We're in America
here.
and it's 2024.
Yeah, like why are
Still
people still
happen.
dying during childbirth? It's crazy.
That's crazy.
So it's like, just be mindful. I'm like, I'm always
Mhm.
like for the
Yeah,
2 weeks after, I'm like real high alert.
exactly.
Like
Yeah, exactly. So
I'm
always
like
advocate.
I have a headache. Oh hell no. It's like take my pressure now because I don't know what this is. You got everything scares you. I'm telling you, the more kids you have, the more
100%. And I feel like, but you're allowed to be scared. Again, like you're allowed to be scared
Mhm.
and don't let nobody tell you otherwise.
Right. Don't let anybody tell you differently. Be
And
scared.
one of my biggest pet peeves when I was pregnant was when I would say, oh, this. And
Mm-hmm.
then someone would go, oh, well, that's really common,
It was
And
my
then and
formula.
then I would say, oh, but with my first this or with what did I, and then they would go, oh, well, all babies are different. It's like it's one which one is
Which
it?
one is it?
Is one or the other because it's
Right.
not like if you stop.
Right. Like just stop. Let people feel what they feel.
Let people feel what they feel. And the fact is, again, we don't live in a socialist country. We
Mm-hmm.
don't live in a third world country. You're able to go get support. You're able to go see your doctor. You have access to these things. Don't take it for granted. Don't take
Exactly.
this shit for granted.
It's
You
there.
have it there, use it.
Use it.
All these people, let them know. If you feel, hey, I feel stupid for asking this, to say that. I feel stupid for asking this, but I still need to ask.
You can preface it. That's fine.
You're totally
Like,
allowed
this
to
is a
do
dumb
that.
question because I ask a lot of them and I do a lot of
Yeah.
dumb things. But
That's how I am always. I'm like, I feel stupid for asking this. Like even when asking if they had like single rooms at the hospital, I was like, okay, this may come off a certain way. I apologize if it does,
oh
but
hell no, I don't want to be in a room with people and their children. Fuck those kids. I'm so lucky. I had my own room for all of them. The hospital's out here because it's individual rooms. Like 99% of people get their own room.
yeah, same
And
here,
what's
same here. But
surprised?
I never know, so I always
Yeah, you
want
have
to
to ask
ask.
because you
need to
don't know.
ask
Things are
just to prepare mentally.
the hospital can be doing construction. Like you don't know.
You
Like
don't know, so you
the
gotta
ward
ask.
can be closed, so
Right.
they have to put you somewhere else. For Sarai, I was going to have to share a room at this hospital. Thank God I didn't, because they thought I had hepatitis B. Because in the military, I got the hepatitis B vaccine. So when they did my blood work, they saw hepatitis B antibodies. So they thought that they came into the
Oh.
room and they had like the full gear on. I'm like, I had the vaccine. I don't have hepatitis. They're like, oh, okay. They were good. They're like, all right, thank goodness. They're like, bitch, it's hepatitis. What she
That's
has
really
going on.
funny.
But with the other ones, it was mandatory, not mandatory, but
Right.
standard.
Right.
That we get our own rooms. But a lot of hospitals they don't. And trust me, I need to know if I need to budget for that. So I don't want to hear somebody else's baby crying. I don't want to have your company in my room. I want to be nice and ugly and bleeding alone. You know what I mean? You don't even want people to
I
come
need to be my true, authentic self
yes, you don't
in
even
the
want people to come
privacy of.
visit you. Let alone strangers coming in and they're fucking. If I can imagine if somebody else had a baby like Sophia, I'm like, get the fucking baby out of here.
And you smelling them.
I
And it's like
know.
they're not trying to judge. Like do that, do you? But let's not be up in each other's personal
This not
space
being able
about
to
it.
save.
Isn't that
I don't
it?
care if I hear your baby cry from a different room. I
Yeah.
just want to hear
I
it
don't know.
cry.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
So I'll
But
close the door and I put on my rain sounds. I get them prep early for Alexa. Don't I want to share a room with shit. Don't come. Like he wants to invite his friends over tonight for UFC. Don't. Sophia was like, why? Don't they have their own homes?
love Sophia so much.
He said, but
She
why?
needs a logo. She's like, I need her face on a shirt or
She
something.
she actually wants to do a YouTube channel, I think. She mentioned it before, so if she still wants to do it, I'll have her do it.
Oh my God,
She's
yes.
funny. She was like, why are we doing this? Why are they coming here? Don't they have homes? Because I do. I mean, I'll play the part, like, hi, how you doing? Get the fuck out of my house. Get your ass juice off of my couch. He just steamed this couch, and then I have booty juice fermented on it again.
Fermented.
It's like fermented. It's like ass juice.
Have you
so
seen that? Do you remember that show, My Wife and Kids?
yes.
Okay. Did you ever see that episode where the youngest would smell the seat?
No, but I get it. No, seriously. 'Cause
Afterwards, like, what is that? It's like, I don't know, it's just satisfying. It's like after they leave, you just want to get like the essence of a person.
oh no, I just want to make sure when I sit down somewhere, it doesn't smell like ass. Like that booty smell, and then if you sit there, you're gonna have the booty smell too. This is why I take my clothes off if I sit down somewhere outside, because I don't want to bring that fermented ass onto my furniture.
Right.
And then it sits in your fabric, and it's just like I said, it's fermenting.
Yeah, you've got a community of DNA on your ass. You don't want to bring that community up into your
bum booty juice sitting on, and it's not a leather couch, it's fabric, so it's really gonna just really get ingrained in me.
It's gonna soak in there. It's gonna marinate.
Oh my God. You don't know where your asses have been? What's in those seats? Don't sit up. I just be looking at Andrew. He knows. I get the microban and Lysol, and I just gotta fucking spray that shit down.
Ooh, let's end on this note. My favorite cleaner,
Okay.
my favorite cleaner is called Angry Orange. When I tell you that shit cleans everything, it's also got it has actual orange essential oils extract in it, but it's so strong and it smells good and it's potent and it breaks through everything. It doesn't matter if it's cat pee, it doesn't matter if it's booty juice, it doesn't matter what it is. If it's grease,
Postpartum juice.
postpartum juice, it cleans everything. You cleaning up a murder scene, like you want some angry orange.
Hey.
Yeah.
Does it have antibacterial properties?
Oh, yes.
Oh, music to my ears. Like I can't clean. Like I told you before, I can't have none of that
Yeah.
organic,
No,
earthy.
no, this
No.
shit's it's
Okay.
like it's the real deal. It's like what you actually expect from nature, which is like to destroy.
To destroy. I like that. It's like the Aries of cleaners.
Yes,
Destroy. I like it.
exactly. Yeah, it's the Kali of cleaners.
I
All right,
like
girl. This was
Bye.
fun. I
It
love
was.
you. Go survive. Let us be moms surviving,
My
doing
war
our
paint
thing.
on.
Okay. Get
Get
that
out of there.
mascara. Just
Just, just smear it on. Like,
we
get to
got
the
this.
get to the chopper now.
Bye.
It's so hard, baby, to play nice, baby, to be so cool. It's so hard, baby, I'm struggling, baby.
You were just listening to the Gooped and Gagged podcast with Vanessa and Pilar. And you just heard I'm Trying by our girl Reina Brito. You can find her on Spotify and the album from which that song came from on the record. Check her out, and we'll see you next week.